Hello again, you misfit carved from stardust and shadow. You anomaly in a world that worships wolves while blaming the lamb. You who still carry the burden of being good in a realm where being heartless is the new holy. But tonight, we're cutting it raw. Stop trying to be good in a world that praises demons. Because this world isn't broken, it's designed this way. They taught you that kindness was a virtue, that silence was strength, that forgiveness was noble. But what they didn't teach you is that the game was rigged. That the louder you love, the harder they strike. That mercy is currency to demons who never plan to repay. That being good in a godless world isn't noble. It's suicide. You walk through life like an offering, smiling when you're bleeding, apologizing for existing, trying to stay soft while the world feeds on your flesh with a grin. But here's the truth. The world doesn't reward kindness. It exploits it. It chews on the generous and calls it fate. It crucifies the honest and calls them weak. It buries the pure-hearted under expectations they never agreed to. You've been taught to shrink, to lower your voice, to forgive everything, to bend your spine just to keep the peace. But peace was never real. It was just your silence repackaged as obedience. Meanwhile, the demons, they get crowned, they get followers, they get applause for manipulation and medals for betrayal. Because in this world, the loudest lie wins, the fakest face gets the crowd, and you, the real one, the raw one, the honest one, you get used, then blamed. But tonight, enough. Enough pretending your patience is power when it's pain. Enough calling your compassion a gift when it's a trap. Enough biting your tongue while cowards with louder voices rewrite your truth. The truth, being good, has cost you your peace. It has cost you your sleep. It has made you beg for basic respect. And for what? So demons can call you too sensitive after ripping out your soul. So snakes can sit at your table and mock your hunger. So fakes can dance on your grave while posting quotes about loyalty. Let that version of you die. Let the obedient soul rest. Let the selfless martyr finally breathe. You are not here to save those who sharpened blades behind your back. You are not here to absorb pain just to keep the illusion of love alive. You are not here to prove that being kind means being silent. From now on, kind doesn't mean weak, kind doesn't mean blind, kind doesn't mean you accept cruelty with a nod. You will roar if you must. You will vanish if you must. You will protect your soul like it's war, because it is. This world applauds demons because demons make the rules, because the truth is too loud, because the honest are too rare, because your spirit terrifies the ones pretending they have won. So stop playing their game. Stop proving your heart to people who would trade it for attention. Stop fighting for a seat at tables built on manipulation. Build your own. Burn theirs down. And when they ask you why you changed, tell them you didn't. You just stopped being the version of yourself they could consume. This world doesn't deserve your goodness if it only claps for demons. It doesn't deserve your silence if it only listens to noise. It doesn't deserve your love if it can't tell the difference between presence and performance. Let them fear you now. Let them call you cold. Let them whisper about how you lost your spark, because they never saw your fire until it burned their illusions to ash. You don't owe this world your suffering. You don't owe people second chances. You don't owe anyone an apology for refusing to bleed quietly. Be dangerous now. Be sharp. Be the storm that ends patterns. Be the silence that speaks louder than screams. Be the soul that no longer bends for cowards. Because in a world that praises demons, being truly good means walking alone. It means burning bridges without guilt. It means knowing you're not heartless, you're healed, not soft, you're strategic, not cruel, you're clear. So stop trying to be good. Start being true. And let the world tremble at the version of you that no longer apologizes for surviving it. Because survival didn't make you selfish. It made you sacred. And sacred things are not touched, not questioned, not handled by unclean hands who only come to take. You don't wear your scars like shame anymore. You wear them like warnings, like armor, like a language only the broken can understand. You've stopped waiting for the world to clap for your quiet suffering. You've stopped auditioning for love in rooms that only value noise. You've stopped explaining why you've changed to people who never respected who you were in the first place. Because now, your peace is not passive. It's enforced. Now your love is not offered. It's earned. The echo of every silence they forced you to swallow. The reflection of every apology they never gave. The voice of the child you used to be. The one who begged for peace but got pain wrapped in affection. Now you walk different. You speak different. Because truth sharpened your tongue and betrayal sculpted your spine. You're no longer waiting to be picked. You are no longer a volunteer for heartbreak. You don't make room for chaos and call it understanding. You don't explain your boundaries to people who profit from crossing them. Now you are the standard, not the exception, not the backup plan, not the maybe one day someone will finally see. You are the aftermath of every betrayal. You are the product of every lie that forced you to find your own truth. You are the silence that replaced begging, the wall that replaced wide open arms, the lesson they'll never forget, because they had to lose you to learn it. And let them learn. Let them ache in your absence. Let them wear their guilt like a shackle. Because you gave them heaven, and they spit in the sky. You offered safety, and they brought fire. You gave loyalty, and they studied how to destroy it. So now, you don't wish them well. You wish them honest. Honest enough to admit they ruined something sacred. Honest enough to know they weren't ready for someone who loved without games. Honest enough to stop pretending they were confused when they were just selfish. Let them carry that weight. Let them dance in the same hell they lit around your feet. Because you're done. Done explaining. Done fixing. Done shrinking yourself to fit cages they disguised as comfort. This is the chapter where your silence speaks louder than your suffering. Where your absence screams in rooms you never want to visit again. Where your distance is not bitterness. It's boundaries. You are not a second chance. You are not a soft place to land for those who threw you to the wolves. You are not the better person if it means being broken for applause. Because sometimes healing means cutting, means burning bridges with no interest in the ashes, means letting them sit in confusion while you rebuild from the wreckage they created. You don't owe anyone a softened version of your pain. You don't owe anyone a watered-down version of your truth. You don't owe anyone the old version of you just because they were comfortable with your suffering. And if they say, "You've changed," you say, "Damn right I did. I changed so I could live." Live without lies, live without leash, live without loving people who only loved the version of you that couldn't say no. Because now your no is divine. Now your standards are sacred. Now your boundaries are commandments. Let them choke on your distance. Let them romanticize the past while you create a future where they no longer belong. Let them write poems about your ghost, because that's all they're left with. You're not their savior. You're not their closure. You're not their lesson learned too late. You're the storm that never returns, the fire that doesn't warm, only burns, the echo they'll keep chasing through mirrors, mistaking regret for love. And no, this isn't cruel. It's clarity. It's the cost of disrespect. It's the tax for treating love like a loan and not a gift. You gave enough. You forgave too much. You stayed too long in places that never had space for your soul. Now, you leave without a message, without a speech, without folding your wings so others can breathe. Because this time, you fly. You rise above the noise, the guilt, the begging. You become unreachable. Not because you're hiding, but because you've elevated past their access. Let them sit in circles and discuss who you've become. Let them create stories where they're the victim and you're the villain. Let them pray for the old you. Because they'll never meet this version again. This you This is war and wisdom stitched together. This is heartbreak that didn't end you, but rebuilt you. This is the roar they never expected from someone they thought would always whisper. So let this be your anthem. I am not bitter. I am just done. I am not broken. I am reforged. I am not angry. I am aware. I don't seek revenge. I live in such a way that their memory becomes irrelevant, that their name becomes just a sound, stripped of meaning, power, and weight. They burned their place at your table. They shattered the seat at your fire. And now, they eat with ghosts. They dine with regret. They sleep beside the echo of a love they tried to bury. And when they dream of you, let them wake up gasping, because they know they'll never taste that light again.